everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. Stay right there. Hey everybody, so this is 12 questions about Cole Caufield. Cole Caufield, as we all know, is our rookie this year. Last year, he did not play enough games to be a rookie, so he's a rookie. He's up for the Calder trophy if he is good enough. And so I'm going to answer 12 questions about Cole Caufield in this video, and hopefully you guys will like that. Let's get right into it. Question number 1. Can Cole Caufield win the Calder trophy this season? Absolutely yes. Yeah, I think he can. I'm not saying he will, but I think he can. He is ranked number 2 right now as far as in the league for prospects, right behind Quinton Byfield of the LA Kings. I believe last year in 6 games or so, Byfield didn't have a ton of points, and Caufield in his 10 games had 5 points. So I think that these guys could go down the wire. Now that is depending on what line Caufield plays. I'm hoping he will play in line 1 with Suzuki, and if that's the case, I think definitely Caufield has a good shot to capture that Calder trophy that has not been won since the I think it's the 69-70 season by Ken Dryden. Ken Dryden was the last Montreal Canadien to win the Calder trophy. So let's hope Caufield, go Caufield, and he gets a good shot to get it this year. Question number 2. Is Cole Caufield really just 5'7"? Okay, so Caufield is officially, like if you go on to the NHL site or the Montreal Canadiens site, he's listed at 5'7", 162 pounds. Now that was to start last season. I believe, because I've seen an interview with him where he said this, that he is 5'8", 170 pounds. And I believe that is his actual height and weight, but officially he is listed at 5'7" and 162 pounds. So, but really, it's starting this season, that'll be over a year old, the information. And I just think they haven't updated it for some reason, and that happens a lot with that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so officially 5'7", 162, but I do believe he's 5'8", 170. Question number 3. Where do you see Cole Caufield playing in the lineup this season? I see him playing on first line, so I really think he's going to be here on line 1. I really think it's going to be Toffoli, but it could be Drouin as the left winger, so either Toffoli or Drouin with Suzuki as the center and Caufield on his wing. They had great chemistry in the playoffs. I don't see why that'll change. You know, I could see if at the beginning of the season they try this out and it doesn't work, say after 10, 15, 20 games, then I can see maybe a change there. But I think you've got to start the season and see how these two guys work together. They obviously have chemistry together. And since you want line 1 to be producing points, and we know Caufield could potentially be, I'm not going to go crazy and say 50 goals, but I mean, he could potentially score 35, 40 goals regularly in his career. I'm not saying in this season though. But you know, so you want to get that started, and you want to see what he can do. And hopefully he can get the Calder trophy as well. So I think he's going to play on line 1. I really do. If not, they might play him on line 3. But I don't think that's how it's going to start for the season. Is Cole Caufield the real deal? Okay, that's a good question because I think there's still some people, Jeff, that I still have doubts about whether Cole Caufield is the real deal. In my opinion, Cole Caufield is absolutely the real deal. As far as a good NHL player is concerned, will he be great? I don't know that yet, but is he the real deal as far as, yes, he's a legitimate NHL player. Looks like he's a top six. And so, yeah, Cole Caufield, in my opinion, is without a doubt the real deal. You can see it in the way he plays. I mean, this guy, his vision is amazing. His anticipation or knowing where to be, picking up on the play, and then getting to where he needs to be, recognizing that is his decision making, the quickness of it is kind of amazing. We all know his shot is definitely elite level NHL shot. So I think without a doubt, Cole Caufield is the real deal. I should do it like Hockey Junkie. Hey guys, he's the real deal. Does that sound like Hockey Junkie? I don't think so. Question number 5. Do you think Cole Caufield can score 50 goals this season or in his career? For those of you who might be confused, I don't mean 50 goals total in his career, 50 goals this season. Do I think Caufield can score 50 goals in this coming season? No, I don't think so. I'd be very shocked. Is it out of the realm of possibility? I guess not. But I'm not going to hold him to something like that because you know what? More than likely, you're going to be disappointed. And I'd rather be having a bit of a lower expectation from him, and then hopefully he goes beyond that. And then, so I'm not looking at him getting 50 goals. And you know what? I don't know that he's going to get 50 goals a year at any point in his career, but I think he's capable of 40 goals once or twice in his career, and I think he's definitely capable of producing 30-plus goals consistently. Question number 6. What do you think Cole's point production will be this season? Right, so this season, I think, again, depends on what line he plays, right? If he plays on the first line or if he's going to play lower down, which I don't think it would be a second line role. Because I think he's either going to play first or third line. So really, that's what it is, first or third line. So depending on if he's on first line or third line, it's going to vary. Here's what I think. On the first line, I am not going to shoot too high for him, but I think he's capable of 21 goals and 30 assists, and you figure 51 points. You got to figure, listen, if he's going to be a first-line right winger, he's got to produce that kind of production because otherwise you got to figure someone else can get there and produce more. And yeah, you don't want to waste that spot on a guy that's going to bring you 40 points. If you can help it, does that make sense? But yeah, I think he could produce 50, and I think he can maybe get more than that. But, you know, as a rookie, putting 51 points up, playing on first line would be kind of awesome, and that's how he would get the Calder Trophy possibility. Line 3, I've got him a little bit lower. 18 goals, 20 assists, 38 points. The opportunities on line 3 won't be there as much, and I'm not sure, if he can get up to the 50-point area. But I think 38, 40 points for Cole Caufield on the third line is definitely something he can do. And, those numbers would be awesome. You think about it, for a rookie producing that kind of those kind of numbers, I think would be awesome. So there you go. Question number 7. Does Cole Caufield like poutine? Poutine. I don't know, 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a video where he actually says that he does. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes, Cole Caufield likes poutine. So that makes him automatically fit right into the Montreal scene. Question number 8. Would you trade Cole Caufield to get a number 1 or number 2 center? All right, so that's like the $64,000 question. Yeah, that's an old reference. You know, I think people are going to laugh at me. Some people will. I think a lot of people will be actually in agreement with me when I say no. I don't think I would add Cole Caufield or Nick Suzuki or Romanov. Those three guys are kind of untouchables for me, and I wouldn't add them in a deal to get a number 1 center. Now, you could say, well, you need a number 1 center. We haven't gotten one in so many years, and if you got to trade Caufield to get one, I mean, I get the sentiment, but we also haven't seen a dynamic hockey player like Cole Caufield in a long time as well, and I think I'd like to see him play a little bit longer in Montreal Canadiens uniform, and I'd like to see where the possibilities lie for Cole Caufield and for the Montreal Canadiens. So I'm going to say that I wouldn't do it. Besides the fact that, quite frankly, there's not a lot of trade possibilities that way for a number 1 center, because if you have a number 1 center, then basically you're hanging on to him, and except for Jack Eichel, who we know is up for grabs, I don't see any other team doing that. So, no, I'm going to say I'm not including Cole Caufield in a deal to get Jack Eichel, and definitely not to get a guy like Christian Dvorak, who's been rumored to possibly be on the trade, on the move to Montreal via trade as a second line center. So, no, I wouldn't do that. Question number 9. As an American-born player, do you think Cole Caufield will stay in Montreal or leave to go elsewhere as soon as he's able to? So now the person who asked me that question or gave me that question, I know the answer for him, but for me, I'm going to say no. Even though he's an American player, I don't think he's going to leave like that. First of all, I happen to know that he likes playing for the Montreal Canadiens. It is a very traditioned and storied franchise. He understands the full gravity of that. I think by the time he's here for a few years, I think he's going to fall in love with the city, quite frankly. Most of the American players that do come here that are stars kind of do. So I think that's going to happen. Montreal is going to fall in love with this kid. Montreal is going to embrace this kid. And if Montreal Canadiens win the cup in the next 3 years with Cole Caufield in the lineup and probably being a big part of that, Caufield will be a legend in this city for the rest of his life, and I think that'll cause him to stay here. So I'm going to say that I don't think he's going to get away at first opportunity. I think he's going to have a long career here with Montreal Canadiens. That's my hot take. Number 10, and welcome to question number 10. Do you think Cole Caufield will be offer sheeted when he becomes an RFA? There's kind of 2 ways for me to answer that. One way, I'm not 100% sure that he'll be eligible for offer sheets. And by that, I mean, there are some RFAs that I think the terming is that they don't have enough time in as a professional hockey player to be offer sheeted. And Cole Caufield was signed to his ELC, and the first year was basically burned with him playing only the 10 games. And, I don't think that will give him enough time in as a professional when the time comes for him to be an RFA. That's what I think. I think, though, that if I'm wrong on that yes, I think the potential is going to be there, because you've got to figure that if Cole Caufield is going to have the career that we think he's going to have, teams are going to be interested in him. And, some team, I can see them coming along and an American team trying to, pull this American player out of Canada. So I think the potential is there. I just don't know if that is actually the case, that he will be an RFA that will be able to be offer sheeted. Long way to say is I don't really know. Question number 11. Does Cole Caufield remind you of any former Habs players from your era of basically the 60s and 70s? Yep, actually, there are two players, or a combination of two players that I think he reminds me of. The first one being Mats Naslund, which is obvious for his size. Also, though, for the skill level, for the skill level, I think Cole Caufield is a very skilled player. Some might disagree with me. That's fine, but I think he's got a lot of skills, and I think Mats Naslund was a highly skilled player, and even though he was small, he made the best of it and always managed to put up great numbers, and just he was a great player. So I guess there's some Mats Naslund for me, and also the same a player who wore the same number, and that's Steve Shutt. And I think Steve Shutt, with his shot and his scoring ability, I think that's something that Cole Caufield has, and I think if you combine those two players, I think you get a basic version of Cole Caufield. Question number 12. Does Cole Caufield have any Canadian connection in his family? Yeah, as a matter of fact, he does. So his father, Paul Caufield, was born in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and his grandfather, Wayne Caufield, was also born in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Wayne was a minor league star of sorts in Milwaukee, with the Milwaukee Admirals. So he played there for, I believe, 5 years. He put up pretty good numbers. If you look at the total points, you're going to say, so those aren't good numbers, but you got to look at the games played. And more often than not, he had more points than games played. So he put up really good numbers. He was a bit of a star from what I read. And he also coached the Admirals for 2 seasons, I believe. His dad, Paul, played in university, and he was also the coach for many years at the University of Wisconsin, which is where Cole played with the Badgers for the last 2 seasons. So, yeah, so he does have a Canadian connection, which is why I believe that the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds were the team that held his OHL rights before he became a professional with the Montreal Canadiens. So I kind of think, when I had the question about will he try to get out and go to the U.S. to play hockey as soon as he might be able to. And I think, his parents, his father and his grandfather, were born in Ontario, and it's not that far from here. And I think that why not? Why wouldn't he be interested in staying in Canada? He has a Canadian connection. There's some Canadian family. I'm sure he still has some family here in Canada. And I don't see why he wouldn't want to continue that tradition and stick around.